Hello and welcome to an introduction to the SMB program. SMB stands for Skills and Behavior, and it comprises of two segments. The first segment is a website, and I'll start with showing you that. Here we have Dr. Droge that will answer one question a month and is archived for review. Here is some instruction on how to write a program objective, structure it correctly, so it is easy for staff to implement and understand. Down here in the bottom there are these capsules that cover the entire activities of daily living, and these blue capsules deal with behavioral issues. So um, I'm going to, when I show you the forms I'm showing you are workshop forms. I also have these forms for ICFMRs and waiver and group home programs as well. So if I click here on the pre-vocational skills, it will take me to the title of pre-vocation and then some titles and subtitles and subtitles. So here if I go to the identify transportation rules, you see all these objectives that are written relating to the rules when riding on the bus. So let's say I'll pick this one and copy it and go back. Now here the behavioral issues um, start by describing the behavior. What are your alternatives in dealing with it? What approaches you should take? How the caregiver should deal with a person that maybe is suffering from oppositional defiant disorder. Then here at the bottom, it gives you examples of how to write a program objective that is incorporated into the rest of the daily objectives that the staff implement, so it's not separated from the daily objectives and thus is not in the back burner sort of way. Um, Now with that, let me go ahead and go to uh, showing you the forms. These forms start with the therapy group. If at your workshop you have mental health therapist, occupational or speech therapist, they use this monthly calendars to document the times that they provided services for the individual. So let's say if you're a mental health uh, therapist, you can use these time codes. Let's say between 10 and 3 is 3. Put a 3 there, it highlights it, so when the occupational therapist goes to document her time codes, she knows not to put anything in here, otherwise it will turn into a double dipping. So let's say she uses a time code of 2, which is 9 to 10, and speech therapist, let's say here she is using a number 4, which is 11 to 12. So this covers an entire year worth of documentation for your therapist, and when they document these time codes in here, then when you go to the data sheets, you see that these areas that they have documented, that they have provided services, have highlighted in here, so the staff don't by mistake put their time code in there and again cause another sort of double dipping. The next sheet is a staffing sheet. Here you put your client's name, their annual date, and it tells you when the first quarter is due, and then it gives you a 10-day warning when this person's quarterlies are due. And over here on the annual it will give you a 30-day warning so you can get your doctor appointments and notifications out and get everything ready for the annual staffing. This next form is an assessment form. I let the assessment form explain to you what it does.
Place an X in appropriate boxes, noting that yes means independent. At the bottom of the page, in behavior category, yes means that the behavior occurs. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna put some yeses and nos here just for the sake of demonstration. Of course, the no's are the areas of weakness where they don't have the skills, and the yes is where they do have the skills. Okay, that should be enough.
OK. To erase an X, right-click on the box and select Clear Content. Once all the boxes are checked, then proceed to the result page. Thank you.
Okay, so if I have made a mistake and I need to get rid of some of these X's, all I gotta do is right click and clear content. Sure works. The next page is the result page, and as you go through the assessment page and put your no's in here, it compiles those no's in here and calls them the areas of need.
Good. The areas of needs are filled out automatically based on your assessment. Now, place an X in boxes under Priorities column.
Okay, so now I want to prioritize these. So let me put some X's. Let's say 3 goals should be enough. Now it has compiled these, extracted these from here and put them in here.
OK. The prioritized goals are those goals and objectives the individual will be working on for the coming year. Remember that each goal could have more than one objective attributed to it. Don't pick any more objectives than your staff can handle.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go to this next tab, OBJB. Here is where I'm going to either write my own objectives or copy and paste objectives from the website. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste the one that I copied here, and maybe write another one here that says I will wash my hands after bath room use. And then I get 3 and 4 there, so I can change that to 5 and 6 just for the sake of time. Now, once I write my objectives in that OBJB, they will be transferred here. Here's where I'm going to put the person's name here. So let's say I put John. And of course, the staffing date, the initiation date is correlated with these numbers, which represent the end of each quarter. So if you change that initiation date, these will change, telling you when the end of the quarter is approaching. The date of birth, if I change that to 79, it will calculate the age of the person for you. Here is the current functioning level for the individual. So currently, let's say this person is following the safety rules as it relates to you pointing to pictures, and he's 20% independent. And I'm projecting that this person will improve 30% for each quarter. So what I'm saying is that I am projecting that I'm going to improve this person's skills from 20% to 26% in the first quarter, 33% second quarter, 39% third one, and by the end of the year they will be going from 20% to 46%. So once I have these projections put in here, then all I have to do is assign goals. That's probably a survival. So that's probably a survival. And This one is a health and hygiene. I just put a HH there. And then I go to the um, annual goal short-term objectives. Here you have the quarters color coded, so pink represent the first quarter, green the second quarter, blue the third quarter, and the orange the third one. Uh, the objective is automatically transferred here with the survival as a goal, and here's your second objective coming to the next pink, which is I will wash my hands, and it goes to the fourth quarter, and then the third and fourth objective. Now, once I have done my percentages, uh, goal assignments, then I come to this annual uh, goal short-term objective and uh, write a method. So let's say provide additional training as needed, something quick. So again, this will all transfer into all fourth quarters. And then the only other thing I need to do is assign initiation date and target date to these. Now, once that is done, then the program will generate a year's worth of data sheet here. So here's the data sheet. The first one is I will follow safety rules. Second one is washing my hands, and third and fourth one are there. Here also, with the data sheets, all I have to do is change the date here, let's say to May, and change that to 13. So now it starts in May, and then and these colors, pink, green, blue, and orange, correlate with the colors here in the annual goal. So now I have May, June, July, August. And also my therapy has changed to May, June, July, August. So let's say in the same way, if the staff use a time code 4, 5, and 2, 3, oops, 2, 3, and then by mistake, if they go here and put a 4 here.
Oh my God. What have you done? You have caused a duplication. Oh my God. What have you done? You have caused a duplication.
So it's just something funny in there. You can basically put anything you want in there. So it highlights it red, and it gives you a verbal prompt that you have caused the duplication. And then all you have to do is right click on it, clear content, and put the correct time code in there. There is an IPP page in here that is generic, used for DDS purposes. The goals are transferred here. The name, date of birth, everything is transferred here. The rest of them is filled out manually. The next page is a client information form. This is a really neat page, especially for new staff that are not familiar with the clients. So these red boxes signify some importance as it relates to these topics. So
Her speech can be understood after a few weeks of interaction with her.
okay, allergy.
There are no known allergies for this person. Her behavior tends to escalate in noisy, crowded environments. Limit this exposure to less than 14 minutes. Look for signs of anxiety to intervene.
Okay, so then when you get to the data sheets, your staff will put yeses for independent and no's for not independent. And if you look at this thermometer, it will go up and down based on these yeses and nos that you're putting in here. Also, based on these percentages, so your first quarter for your first objective is 26%. The data sheets break these into monthly percentages. So 26%. You go over here is 22% for the first month, 24% for the second month, and 26% for the third month. This is a good tool for your staff to be able to observe the documentation that they're taking and the percentages and compare it to this and see how close they are to their goal. Also, within a week or so of data collection, they also can come and tell you that the goal is either too high or too low, so it can be adjusted over here to reflect the better percentages or better projections on the percentages that you have made. Once these data sheets are filled out, so let me do the first quarter and put a yes over here, and then go to the third one, put a yes and a no over here just to demonstrate. Then these are all compiled here in a functional analysis format. So here is your completion date is 3/13. Um, this is the average of these numbers, these data, that is also graph for you. And the program compares this number to that one, and if this is higher than that one, then it lights up and it says goal met. So if I go to the second quarter and just put a no here, and second month a yes, and then the third month a yes and a no, then when you go to here again, you see that light up and says goal met, and it's just continuously graphs this for you. um, Here is where you would be describing whether the program needs to be modified, whether it's accomplished, whether the person is improving, continue, or has dropped by just simply clicking on these boxes. Also on the data sheets, there's room here for, this is your progress notes, so you can put your initial and date over here saying that this person performed exceptionally, requires additional training, requires assistance, alternative activity, and any additional comments that you need to write over here. Okay, so I think this pretty much covers this segment of the uh, program as it relates to data collection and data analyzation, the behavior, positive behavior support program here. You just target your behavior. Staff will document the frequency of the behavior as it occurs, goes from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. And these boxes here, uh, they add up the number of instances for each day and total it up for your monthly total. Then here, then here you have the graph of the daily data that has been collected. So here, as a positive behavior specialist, I've written to the staff that we need to monitor this person on Sundays because there appears to be spikes occurring on Sundays, and we need to find out what's going on those days. Then you can get these monthly um, tallies and put them in here and get a long-term graph of this behavior. And obviously here, as you can see, the person behavior has declined gradually for the first several months, and then a major decline thereafter. Okay, so then the next sheet that I have is a behavior incident report. Again, your company logo. The behavior incident report is based on CPI. So if I pick a name here, their picture will pop up, and Here is your staff name. This is the current time that I'm recording this is 4:11:13, 9:22 a.m. So, I just fill out this information. Where did it happen? What was it? How was it? And then it goes here where it you is asking whether the CPI verbal intervention techniques were used or not. And if you click no, then it will say click here. And what this does, I'm offline, it will take you to this website to explain to you how to use the verbal intervention in case you haven't had the training yet. Then there's another area here that you can click on that will take you to the page where it gives you some guidance on how to use verbal intervention. Let's see then, if there was a physical intervention, there was a restraint, then again you fill out the questionnaires, and this takes you again to another website or another page where you have to fill out a physical incident report in case there was an injury. So let's click on that. Then it'll take you to this physical incident report, which I will show you. And then here is another help areas on how to write a report, because a lot of times staff focuses in the wrong place. So by clicking on this, it'll take you here where it gives you some guidance as to make sure what you need to be writing. And then there are references to websites which goes to the Crisis Prevention Institute that gives you a refresher on how to use empathic listening and use postvention when you go to talk with the individual. Okay, so with that, let's go to the incident. This is a physical incident report based on the person's date of birth. Like Ralph is 34. If I choose Joshua, he's 46. And Michael is 67. And then this is your employee area. It has 4 images, 2 for the male back and front and 2 for female back and front. So here's a female back and front and male back. Again, you answer these questions. It will say clinic or hospital treatment was required. If you say yes.
Have you contacted your supervisor yet? If not, do so right away.
Okay, and if there's...
This individual requires a 72 hours monitoring. Be sure to notify the nurse about this incident when she arrives. Thank you.
Again, some guidelines, 72 hours monitoring, let the nurse know. And here it says Johnny fell in the bathroom and hurt his elbow, so they go to the picture area, and basically all you have to do is move this arrow and move it around to where the injury occurred, and when you go to the incident, pick that image and print out the form. Now, on the incident report, there is another page down here, another area down here that it asks whether there was a need for internal investigation. If you click there, it gives you a link to the um, internal investigation form. And if this was an injury of unknown origin, then when you click that, it gives you a link to the Department of Health and Human Services website where the document you have to fill out for injuries of unknown origin. So if I go next to the internal, okay, so on the internal investigation form, you can choose a name and their picture comes out, and then it has a lot of steps to walk you through this internal investigation because they are important, and it starts with telling you to pick a name, um, and then if there were any witnesses, these are the staff name, and then it goes into the detailed explanation of the internal investigation.
Good. Type in the outcome of your interviews. Remember, when writing this report, you should only describe the incident. For example, what the individual said or was doing. Avoid using phrases like, I feel like, or in my opinion.
Okay, was responsible party contacted? Yes, but if you say no,
It is important the responsible party is contacted as soon as all facts are discovered. If you attempted and could not reach the responsible party, document the number of attempts you made to contact the responsible party and which phone numbers you used.
okay. And then corrective action, of course, here is where you're going to be writing your corrective action.
Provide any information that may describe what caused the incident. Was it a behavioral issue due to antecedents, triggers, reinforcement or environment? Or was it something else? Describe what steps will you take to ensure this incident does not occur again. Your plan should be least restrictive while protecting the individual's rights.
Okay, so that's the behavior incident report. Then the next form is, let's see, due dates. These are in case you want to keep track of people's TB test, evaluation, CPR, first aid, and of course you can add to these or change them into other things. And the next form is a staff communication form. This is something you again pick your name, um, then you just write down like we went to the zoo, had a good time, and then you double click here and it will open up your picture folder where you can insert a picture, and then once you do that it automatically timestamp the when this was written. So it was written for 11:13, 9:32 a.m. and then once I exit that cell and try to go back into that, it won't allow me. So this is it makes it a legal document where it has timestamp and the instruction and something that cannot be altered once it's read. Okay, then the next one is, this is a blood pressure and blood sugar indicator. Here again you have a picture that you can just change. You have the person's name, and then here it will automatically calculate the normal blood pressure based on the age of the person. So 15 to 19 is 177 over 777. If it's 50 to 54 years old person, then is 129 over 85. So here's where I would be putting the upper and lower part of the blood pressure. So let's say 112 over 64. It'll say good. It gives you the pulse pressure, and of course it spells good over here. So let's go to something not so good. 143 over 57. Your blood pressure is high, your pulse pressure is 86, and you have alerts that you're possibly at the stage 1 of hypertension. And as you fill these out, then what happens, it will graph these for you. So there's the graph of your the upper and the lower range of your blood pressure here. This area is your weight. You put the initial weight of the individual here at their height. So they're 5'2" and they're 145 pounds. So they're overweight at this point. If I change that to 178 pounds.
This individual has lost 10 pounds or more in 1 month. Someone should consult this person's primary care physician.
So if you lose more than 10 pounds, it gives you an alert because certain programs, they require you to notify the physician if you lose 10 pounds or more. So here's 178, they're in the obesity range. So if I put their weight to, let's say they drop to 174, then it gives you a red alert saying, I mean green alert saying that okay, this is good. They've lost 4 pounds from their original weight, but they're still at the obese level. So let's let this person lose a significant amount of pounds.
This individual has lost 10 pounds or more in 1 month. Someone should consult this person's primary care physician.
Okay, so now they've lost 12 pounds, which turns pink mainly because you need to call the physician, and but they're still on the overweight deal. So if I go to 155, they were overweight. 141.
This individual has lost 10 pounds or more in 1 month. Someone should consult this person's primary care physician.
So they're still on the overweight. Just to make this a little bit faster, I'll go 5 foot 5 inches, and now at 141 pounds, they're normal, and they were overweight at that point. And again, as you put these numbers here, then the weight is graphed. So up here. So hopefully, as this person's weight is going down, their blood pressure is also decreasing. This is a really good visual thing for a doctor to look at and make some analysis and decisions based on that. The next form is your glucose and blood sugar. Here you have the above average numbers, 65 to 120, your target, which is normal, 120 to 182, and then your below target. Now here, the doctor may say if this person's blood sugar uh, exceeds, let's say 500, I want to be notified. So you put 500 in here, and so if I go over here and go, let's say 140, it turns green because that's between the target. If I put in uh, 67, turns blue being above, and of course, let's say 347 and 122. I just want to put some numbers here. 145, and then let's just now put 503.
This individual's blood pressure has exceeded physician's recommendation. Please notify the primary care physician.
Okay, so it says contact doctor, and it turns the same color as that 500, and then here's the graph. Um, let's see, I think there's another one that is a timesheet for the waiver program. Okay, so as you know, Um, each person is allowed certain amount of time. So if let's say there's a person that is allowed 34 hours, then as the staff come and clock in and out, uh, this will subtract the total number of hours that they're putting in with what is allowed, and then gives you how many hours is remaining. And okay, thank you for watching this video and have a great day.